so slow. Everything is operating in slow motion. Everything is operating. What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the live stream. I am your host, Heavenly Father, Kevin Williams. That is correct. And we are going to take a look at President Trump talking about the wonderful taco bowls at the Trump Tower Grill. I haven't watched it. I had a wonderful nap, which is pretty much the same thing as watching it. There have been many photos of this on the line where you can see that there is absolutely zero social distancing going on. This is in Phoenix, Arizona. The chairs are all tightly together. Wonder if we can find a couple of pictures for you before we get going here. You know what? I don't even think we need to. We have to. I don't know if that we talk about cake. I'm not sure what Spanish for cake is. I'm not even going to take an attempt at it because somebody will call me racist. Although, watching the video of the people lined up to get inside here, the thousands of people. I'm on YouTube, Larry. I'm there. I swear to God. A lot of blonde Mexicans. I never realized. It's all Hispanics. So it could be Mexico, Belize, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Sweden, any of the Hispanic area. Yeah, you should be able to hear, Todd. Yes, we are audible right now. Let me make sure that that's the case. You guys are going to hear an echo. Yeah, you should be able to hear. Yep. So yeah, that is the case. We are good to go. Let's take a look at here at the Trump talking to the Hispanic Americans.
I know this is supposed to be, the fake news. They said that this is supposed to be a round table, but it looks like a rally. But it is a rally because we love each other.
It's a rally.
No, it is a round table, and we're here to really listen. We're here to discuss the Latinos and the Hispanic.
Sorry, Eve. Fly safely.
And I want to say you have a great governor. He's been fantastic. Thank you. I love you too. And we're really doing well. The country is doing numbers that like we've never. You will see next year is going to be. You had your greatest year ever, Doug. Last year, the best year you ever had.
Do you want to finish one sentence?
We had to stop, and we saved millions of lives by doing it. We saved millions of lives, and then we restarted. And now we've set all kinds of records, and we're setting records. And I think next year you're going to have a fantastic year. It's going to be great. We're cutting taxes even further. And we're going to have...
Are we, though?
A lot of good things are happening. But I'm thrilled to be back in Arizona with the...
Is that your phone number, Todd? We just started, yeah. Yeah, take a look at that. That's how it is. It's a whole conference full, just packed like that. No social distance whatsoever.
How's Albert? Is he good? Huh? Good guy. He's a good guy. Good job, Artie. So it's really great to be back.
Literally, the only person social distance in that room is President Trump. That's it.
This is good. This is what the polls are all saying too. As a Republican, Republicans don't do as well as perhaps they should, and probably some shouldn't do very well. But the polls came out, and we're leading Sleepy Joe by a lot.
Not that I've seen.
And so it's a great honor to be here. But we're here to discuss my administration's unwavering devotion to Hispanic American communities. Hispanic Americans embody the American dream, and they are great business people, like this guy right here. They're great business people. Great business people. I know that because I've had to compete with them. Not easy to compete with, I want to say that. Hispanic Americans strengthen our nation beyond description. You protect our nation as brave members of the military and as members of law enforcement, great members of law enforcement. You uplift the communities and promote our shared values of faith and family, community, hard work, and patriotism. It's really you're an amazing group of people, and I love you, and we're taking care of you, and I'm never letting you down. You'll never let you down.
Except that whole testing for the virus thing that affects your community disproportionately. Except for that. That's when I'll let you down.
Doug Ducey, he's done a fantastic job. He's done a great job. Thank you. He really has. It's been incredible. So, and thank you, Doug.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Toffee Fay.
Also, thanks to Arizona Republican Party Chairwoman Kelly Ward. Great job, Kelly. How are we doing, Kelly, by the way? Okay. Thanks, Kelly. Arizona State Representative T.J. Shope. Thank you very much. Thanks, T.J.
Are these some of the people that he assumes are good people?
Commissioner Leah Marquez Peterson. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sergeant Jimmy Chavez of the National Troopers Coalition. Sergeant, thank you. And we have the law enforcement from all over the country. We just got Florida, all the sheriffs, all the law enforcement, Ohio, Texas, everywhere. I mean, New York, we got New York's finest. They said they've never endorsed before, but they're endorsing this year. That took a little courage, too, because they're in very unfriendly territory politically.
I don't think they did. I think like the police union or something like that endorsed.
With that wonderful mayor. We also have a man that I have a lot of respect. I like baseball. I've always liked baseball, and he's done a fantastic job. Artie Moreno, the owner of the Los Angeles Angels, done a fantastic job.
I didn't make it quiet.
How is Albert Pujols doing? Good? Because I think he's great, huh? Good. And you have Mike Trout. So is he as good as they say? They say he's the best player. He said he's better. He's better, right? But they say he's the best.
Wait,
player.
is that the owner of the Angels?
That's great. That's very good. Thanks, Artie. Congratulations on your success, too.
Because I.
Great job. Also with us
Wait,
are two wonderful
hold on a second here. Is that the owner of the? Does that guy own the Angels?
Say he's the best player. I've always liked baseball. Chicago, can you believe that? With that wonderful mayor. We also have a man that I have a lot of respect. I like baseball. I've always liked baseball, and he's done a fantastic job. Artie Moreno, the owner of the Los Angeles Angels.
Oh, I'm done with the Angels. That's that. Yeah,
Tiffany
no,
Shedd
done.
And Brandon.
Them, Las Vegas, Golden Knight, no. Done. You support Trump? I'm not supporting your business anymore. Yeah, I used to love to take the train. You can take a train from LA Union Station all the way down to Anaheim, go see a game on a Friday or Saturday night, get off the train right by the stadium. It's a lot of fun because you know what? You're on a train. And sometimes you can sit on the upper level because I'm 7. And I do. I have a lot of fun doing it. No, done. That's it. Last time. Wow. And I know a lot of people who are fans. Okay, because I'll go to the Dodgers, I'll go to the Angels. I don't care. Either way. Like we're ever going to go to baseball games again. Oh, I don't know if it's Amtrak or not. It's called like the Angels Express. You can take it from Union Station. You can take it from Long Beach. I think from Riverside. They do it on Fridays and sometimes Saturday nights. You know, when we used to go to baseball games. Well, Dodger Stadium is lovely. And I can order the Dodger dogs from here. Like Postmates will bring me a Dodger dog for like $18. The Dodgers keep sending me ads for $10 off Postmates and stuff like that. What? Or I could just go to the local grocery store and just buy a bunch of, I think it's Farmer John. You can buy the Dodger dogs in the store. Oh, boy. Yeah, so we're done with the Angels.
Martin, Coach Tiffany, good luck. Good luck. Thank you, Brandon. And you have my complete endorsement, you know that. Complete and total, as I say. Complete and total. Okay?
Only you say that. Only you say complete and total.
We'll be helping you a lot. I hear both of you are doing really well. Very important. And Doug is working hard on that. Thank you very much. Joe Biden spent 47
I think it's just an Amtrak train. I don't know, but sometimes there's 2 levels.
years selling out the Hispanic American community.
Oh, Hispanic. Hispanic is the drinking word, okay?
Sending your jobs to China, raising your taxes, surging regulations.
Boo.
He doesn't sound too good to me.
Is he going to be doing one of these events for Chinese Americans, I hope?
Once every 3-4 days. I've been in every state. I've been in so many states the last few days. Yeah, well, you need a lot of energy to do this job properly. You can't be sitting in your basement for 4 days and come out. No, and then he comes out, and I like Delaware. I think Delaware is a good place, but you got to leave it on occasion. You know, I mean, it comes out. And remember, he didn't, they say that his home state is Pennsylvania. No. He left Pennsylvania when he was young. It's not his fault. His father left, okay, and his mother.
He's a native son.
He left Pennsylvania when he was very young. And we just had a great ruling. Doug and I were talking just literally minutes ago. A federal judge, a very prominent, a very respected federal judge came out and ruled that they can't shut the state down any longer. It's too much.
Where was this?
He said
Delaware?
It was unconstitutional.
Or Pennsylvania?
And we hope that's going to happen in North Carolina. We hope that's going to happen in North Carolina. We hope it's going to happen in Michigan too, because it's just.
Look at all these Latinos.
Well, you know it's going to happen on November 4th. They'll open up everything. They're just
maybe.
On November 4th, they'll announce everything's open now. We were only kidding. The fact is that November 4th, you're going to see it's going to all open up. It's going to all open up. It's politics. So if you know, and as Hispanic Americans, you know better than anybody, we implemented historic tax cuts and regulation cuts, the biggest in the history of our country, and we built opportunity zones that have really benefited your state and a lot of other states. And it's been great for everybody, really, African Americans. And if you look at the African American, it's what they've done and how that's benefited them. I was helped by Tim Scott of South Carolina, and he's a fantastic senator. And he came in the idea of the opportunity zone, but for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, and really everybody.
Oh, wow.
It's been a tremendous success. Before the China
huge turnout for the Latinos for Trump rally in Phoenix.
Hispanic
No mask
American
required.
Unemployment rate ever recorded, ever. Not even close.
That's huge. Ackman.
Over 600,000 Hispanic Americans were lifted out of poverty in that short period of time. That's a record. All records, Hispanic American ownership, home ownership reached an all-time high, and that includes Artie's home, okay? That includes the home. Okay, that must be a nice home. I want to see that home. But it's the highest home ownership ever in the history of our country for Hispanic American. We built the greatest economy in history, and now we're doing it again. So it's called Make America Great Again, and I say Make America Great Again and again. Again and again. And we added, as you've probably heard, we added 3.3 million jobs for Hispanic Americans in the last 4 months. That's a record. So we're coming back very, very strong. I call it the Super V. In July, I launched the White House Hispanic Prosperity Initiative to improve access to education and economic development and opportunity for all Hispanic Americans. It's been a very big success. We have great people on the board. And we have that Biden would, as you know, terminate this recovery because if a doctor said, let's shut it down, we have all these records, we have retail sales records, everything. He said he'd shut it down, can't shut it down. Peaceful protesters, have you seen these peaceful protesters? These are not, they'll rip down your community. Many of these are Hispanic American small businesses, stores, shops, and they rip them down and they call it peaceful protesting. You see some of these reporters on
No, they don't.
television,
Those are
they
called
say,
riots.
This has been a peaceful protest. And over his shoulder, it's a pretty famous clip. The entire city is burning down. And these are all Democrat mayors, super
Nope, he
liberal
never said they were
usually,
peaceful
but
protests. We've
Democrat
looked at that.
mayors and governors. Republicans are doing very well. Republican cities and states are doing incredibly well. We're at records. We have been at records. We will be at records. And we don't have anything like this. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. And we've sent the National Guard into Minneapolis, and we ended it after a week and a half. They should have called it sooner. We would solve the problem in Portland in, I say, less than a half an hour. It would be solved. But they don't want to call us.
So, a judge in Pennsylvania ruled on the closure of non-essential businesses and gatherings in Pennsylvania. You can't tell 13 million Pennsylvanians that they have to stay home. That's not American. It never was. That order was horrible. Thomas W. King III, an attorney for the plaintiffs, told Pittsburgh Action News 4. I just like that it's Action News 4. Action News. Judge William Stickman the fourth. It's his name. Stickman. He's a stick man. He's the one from Hangman. Well, his great-great-grandfather was the first. Judge Williams, or Billy Stickman the fourth, ruled that the state posed, should be state imposed, I think, limits on gatherings violated the First Amendment, and the stay-at-home and business closing orders violated the 14th Amendment. This has been decided already by the Supreme Court. Gibbons v. Ogden, 1824. The state has a primary right for the welfare, or responsibility, for the welfare of the citizens, and the power of the government derives from the population, giving it the right to quarantine. Yeah. Yeah, Javier, do you not understand the difference between a protest and a riot? Anyway, that'll be appealed up the line, and it'll get to the Supreme Court. And it'll be interesting because we do have precedents on this. So will they go with stare decisis, or will we decide to turn it around?
They don't want to call us in. And every place we've gone, we solve it immediately. We just, Seattle is an example. They took over a piece.
I used to work in Seattle for a channel called Tacit 7. Tacit 7 Secondhand News. We used to be Eyewitness News, but it was too direct. It was too in your face.
Of the city, and we said, what are you
now Tacit 7 Hearsay at 11 with your hosts
doing? And we complained. We said, it's okay, we have to go in because we're supposed to wait. We're going in tomorrow. And we informed them we're going in. As soon as we did
Hi, LJ.
They had people go in, and these wise guys.
So this is Trump saying that they had planned to invoke the Insurrection Act in Seattle near no federal buildings. The CHOP zone, 20% of the city. For those of you just joining us, I'll show you 20% of the city. Remember when Chaz was there in Seattle? They had their own little autonomous community. 20% of the city is what Trump says. Here it is. Look at that 20%. That little pink dot that you can barely see. That is 20% of that area. So you know.
Guys gave up. The so-called protesters, they gave up. They're anarchists. They're not protesters. They're agitators or they're anarchists.
Some are, and some are not. Just as some Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers, and some, you assume, are good people.
So you see what happens with the anti-police rhetoric from that whole group of Democrats and their supporters. They're endangering our law enforcement. We love our law enforcement. Many of the law enforcement. Many of the law enforcement are Hispanic Americans, as you know. And Biden is not a strong person, never was a strong person. In prime time, he wasn't any good, let's face it. And this is not...
When was prime time? When like his 30s? When does Trump think prime time is?
Not prime time for him. This is not prime time. But
What
he'll
about-
surrender your entire country to the radical left. And that's all they're doing is using him. He has no clue. So we will take this to a whole different level. What we're doing is taking it to a whole different level. We don't want to have a socialist country. We don't want to have... Some of you came from parts of the world where it's socialist or worse. You know, it's called the C word, right? The C word. Because I think in
that's
many
not what the
cases,
C word
people
is.
are talking even beyond socialism, and we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let the rule of law really be.
What? Why won't he say communism? Why is he afraid to say communism?
Just be ruled by the mob. We're going to do it. We're going to do it properly. We're going to do it the way we're doing it. And again, remember, the top 10 are all Democrat, and then you go into the top 25 and you take a look at that. It's the same thing. It's all a Democrat problem, whether it's New York, where crime is through the roof. It's gone up in some cases 150 to 300%, not even recognizable. Or Chicago. You take a look at Chicago, what's happening. They had numbers that were just absolutely horrible. And where you're hearing, I don't even want to mention it, but so many people shot, so many people killed. Nobody's ever heard of this.
Joe Biden was shot.
A Democrat runs the city. These are Democrats, and they have no clue. They have no cash bail. They get rid of bail. They get rid of all of the things that you need. The police are afraid to do anything. They don't want to lose their pensions. They don't want to lose their life. They don't want to lose their family and their job and everything else that comes with it. And we have to give our great law enforcement people, we have to give them the respect that they deserve. And if we don't do that, they can never do their job properly.
Yeah, if I was a cop, I would shoot fucking everyone. I would. I have such a low annoyance tolerance that it's the same shit night after night after day after night after 24-hour shift. You should go on a ride along. I went on a ride along with the Seattle PD. Call your local police department. Ask to go on a ride along, and a lot of them will do it. And if they won't, then go to the next city over. Go to the sheriff's department. You can see what it's like out there. It's there, and it's the same people. Call after call after call. I think Adam Carolla had a good idea at one point. I think this was his idea, that you get 3 911 calls a year. After that, the cops just come and firing. That's enough. It's not a bad idea. My mother, in addition to being a teacher, an author, a Lutheran minister, a therapist, pastoral care worker, and she was also and a mom. She was also the chaplain for the West Seattle Police Department. So she'd just ride around with cops. My mother, Kevin Williams, Kevin Timothy, your father is I have to go with the police now. That's what she would do. Ah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And just in closing up, and I just say a few
In closing up, are we done? Yay!
words more because it's so important to me, and your community is so important to me. But many Hispanic Americans came here to pursue the American dream.
Your votes are so important to me.
We all want the American. I want the
Many Hispanic Americans were born here, sir. That's the thing.
American dream. We all want the American dream. This is, if you look at what they're asking for, it's like
they were here way before we were.
the American nightmare, or whatever you want to call it. But we want the American dream, having left countries that did not have safe streets, many of you, or your family, your mothers, your fathers, they left countries that were very, very bad, a lot of problems. And
Or they've been here for 10 generations, either way.
we let this go on, you'd have that. And, I often say we're not going to be another Venezuela. We love the people of Venezuela. We have tremendous support in Miami from Venezuelans and Cubans. We're not going to let that happen to our country. Nobody wants it. And you know who wants it least is Hispanic Americans. They want to see it less than anybody because they know about it more than anybody. And so we're not going to let that happen. Biden wants to take away your police. He wants to, I wouldn't say defund in his case, but I will tell you some of his compatriots want to defund your police.
Good call, Allison. Those are shoulder pads. He's wearing some wicked shoulder pads today. Everything to make him look bigger. He's got heel lifts, kitten heels, shoulder pads.
Police, they want to take it away. I don't know who's going to do the job when they call up at night. You saw the commercial where you call up and they say murder, I'm sorry, we won't be here for 24 hours. And then they say, I'm sorry, rape, we won't be here for about a week. We'll call you back in a week. And this is what you'll end up with. We can't do it. We have to treasure our law enforcement, and we have to let them do what they're good at. Another thing I think that's so important is that we're defending religious liberty, and Joe Biden will totally eliminate religious liberty. He's going to take away your Second Amendment because he's not going to be what I have put up with.
And you may tell yourself, this is not my beautiful First Lady.
In the last 4 years to defend your Second Amendment, but you have to have your Second Amendment, and they're going to at least obliterate it.
At least obliterate. He does not know what obliterate is.
At least obliterate it. They're going to abolish school choice. They're going to abolish charter schools, and we're going to put charter schools all over wherever we can. We have so many people doing so well, and school choice.
The government doesn't put charter schools anywhere. That's kind of the point.
And we've been working very hard on school choice, and we'll get it very much achieved like we have. Nobody's done as much as we've done in 3.5 years. Nobody. No administration in their first 3.5 years. I say this, that I've achieved more for Hispanic Americans in 47 months than Joe Biden has achieved.
You haven't been there 47 months.
Years.
You say that, but that's a lie.
They don't call him Sleepy Joe for nothing, okay? But a vote for Republicans this November is a vote for the American dream, and that's all I have to say. I just want to thank you very much. I want to thank you very much. And I look forward to hearing from some of the folks at the table and some of these people that I know I have great respect for. All of you I've heard of in one way or another, and I want to thank you all for being here. Really, it's
all of you I've heard of. That's the important part.
And maybe we'll start with our governor, our great governor. And Doug, please say a few words.
Let me be thank you.
Loud. Let you be loud.
Let me be the first to welcome President Donald Trump back to the great state of Arizona.
Who's Donald Trump?
And there couldn't be a better way. There couldn't be a better way to kick off Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're thrilled to have you here, Mr. President.
It's my honor.
It's the 14th.
I want to say thank you for your support of Arizona families throughout the crisis that we've been through, whether it was personal protective equipment, surge ventilators for our Navajo Nation, testing that we needed in places like South Phoenix and Maryvale whenever we needed it. Your administration...
Really? Because FEMA told the Phoenix mayor, we're getting out of the testing business. Phoenix was starved for testing when they were at 29% positivity.
We really need ventilators badly. That's hard, because it's like they're big, expensive, very complex.
They're not. They're expensive.
From a high-tech standpoint, they have to be perfect. They're very hard, and people don't have them. Countries don't have them. And now we become the king. We're making them like you wouldn't believe. But I said, how many do you need? Could you send us 1,000? I said, 1,000? That's a lot. But we got them to you. Do we get them to you?
You got them to us.
Yeah, we had them. They were in the stockpile.
Thank you. And before this
and other states sent them.
After this pandemic, our economy has been booming in the state of Arizona. This has been the fastest growth.
After this pandemic, our economy has been booming. That's what he just said.
The state and the nation. Your Jobs Act and tax cut has done much to spur our economy. The negotiation of the USMCA has allowed Arizona to maximize its relationship with its #1 trading partner, Mexico, and we have now surpassed China with Canada as our #2 trading partner in Arizona.
Well, yeah, because he imposed the tariffs on China. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? Duh! Oh, let's turn them up again then. Yeah, okay. Now I've turned him up. All right, going back to them.
Thank you, Doug, very much.
Thank you very much.
And the relationship with Mexico has been really great. I'll tell you, you have a very good president, and we've gotten along very well. And they've actually been very good. We've had a real relationship. You know, NAFTA was a disaster for our country, and now we have the USMCA, which is Mexico, Canada, and it's been a great. And we're not going to lose our businesses now to Mexico and Canada. They're going to stay right here. So they have a very big economic penalty if they want to play the games of leaving. I mean, we lost 55,000 firms went down to different places, but a lot of them went to Mexico. A lot of them went to Canada. There's a very, very big disincentive to doing that. Well, I'd like to hear, as a baseball fan, I'd like to hear from Artie, because he really has done. That team's been glamorized.
This just makes me sad.
It's a great team and great players, great individual players. And let me know about the team a little bit and how you're doing, and let's hear it. Come on, that's a beautiful thing to own.
Well, we're not playing that great right now. I really wanted to tell a little bit of my story because I am Mexican American. Both my parents were Mexican American. I'm the oldest of 11 children. My father did not graduate from high school. He always was very positive about, I think his platform was, if you don't work, you don't eat. I'm a Vietnam vet.
The other guy's not.
I was lucky enough when I came home.
Let me ask you something. What was in it for you? Oh, what did you get out of it? Why? Why did you become a Vietnam? I don't get it. I don't.
Home to get the GI Bill and go to college. I went to the other school down in Tucson. I'm married, have 3 great children.
Hey, now.
My dad was very much a Barry Goldwater Republican.
Good.
We were brought up very conservative. Just want to talk a little bit about, because I started in my life as working for someone and started with a partner, a small business, and over the years we grew it. But everybody deserves the opportunity to grow your own business. It's a very important thing. Everyone deserves the right to be able to raise and educate their children in a safe environment.
Yeah, I think we can all agree.
I've really been lucky to have the opportunity to benefit from this great American country. Every person has an opportunity to have a voice. It's important that it's expressed. It's very important for every Latino American to get out and vote. It's our...
That's more true than he probably realizes. But traditionally, Latinos vote at about 50%. Hispanics could decide most of the elections in this country, including national elections. They only voted about 50%. Them and Asians, 50%. And no one has been able to figure out why. And there's been many great brown hopes, if you'll excuse the expression, of Mexican Americans, Hispanic Americans, who've thought that, if we can just push this person through, they'll bring out the Hispanic vote. And it never works. And no one can explain why. It's an interesting phenomenon. But if anybody ever can figure out why the population in general, and of course this is a generalization, this is just that voting bloc votes at about 50%. That's how it is. And nobody... African-American women, 69%. That's just about how it is. Nobody knows why. So if somebody can figure out how to get Hispanic Americans engaged, and many people thought that they would become engaged and go out for Hillary because of Trump's rhetoric on Hispanics, didn't happen. 50%. Asians, 50%. It just didn't happen. Hillary turns out not to inspire Hispanic women for whatever reason.
It is our right to vote and express our choice for President Trump and his leadership.
Thank you. Thank you.
We all know where we've been.
Is that true, Marcy? Only 37% of the Hawaiian population, that's Haoles and Hawaiians, natives vote. 37% on the islands vote. That can't be correct. That can't be that low for everyone on the islands. Look it up.
It's necessary to focus on today and the.
Or do they like close the polls at Pacific time or something? And you guys are all like, "Oh yeah, no, we'll go check it out at about 8:30." You closed at 4. Oh well.
Future, and it's very important to vote for President Trump.
So nice.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, now
Actually, Hillary, African American women. Well, no. So that was down versus Obama, but Obama, college-educated white women, college-educated white males, and that was it. Actually, no. The Hispanics actually voted at the same level, but she didn't inspire any extra Hispanics to come out for her. And Asians, 50%. They just voted like they always vote. It's weird. We've talked a little bit before about why Hillary didn't win in terms of the voting blocks, but let's move on.
I really like that team. I liked it before. I didn't know he was going to do that, but I tell you what, I
Now I don't like them at all. I think I have a blanket. Does anybody want an Angels blanket? I'll send it to you.
appreciate it. And, you know, your story is
You have a dog? Does somebody have a dog that would like a blanket?
an amazing story. It's a great story. Think of that. And he's one of the most respected people in sports and in business, and just a great story. Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with you. Thank you.
I was considering, so what they're doing at the Angels Stadium is they have these big screens set up, and you drive your car down and you park your car a space apart from everybody else so you can have social distancing, and you watch the big screens and you sit and you cheer. The team, they're not doing well this year, but I had considered doing that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go pay $10 to this guy and sit in the parking lot. No, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President, and allow me to join with all of these folks in welcoming you back to Arizona. I'm sure that this is a much more hospitable setting than what you were in California just a little bit ago.
Yeah,
So,
but they were nice.
you know.
This is very special.
Exactly. You know, my story is, as 27, I was elected to the state legislature. I represent a very fast-growing area between Phoenix and Tucson that has been in the news quite a bit with companies like Nikola Motors and Lucid Motors announcing their factories there. My family's been in the grocery business since 1952. They moved to Arizona because they failed at hog farming in Iowa, and I think you have to actually try to do that in Iowa. But I opened up a business here in Arizona. Their first business went bankrupt. They pulled themselves up, got back to work, opened a new grocery store later on, because you can do that in Arizona.
That's great.
You can do that in America. To be able to have failure and to come back. And now, here I am at age 27 in the state or 35, excuse me, age 35, and
That's what I thought.
living a wonderful life. And it's something I think for a lot of the folks out right now to realize. It is difficult to be a minority and Republican at times because your friends, your other members of your family, oftentimes don't understand, treat you differently, things like that. And you experience things that you probably shouldn't. But it is, we are very proud people, very happy to be up here. Actually, in a few weeks, I'm going to be getting married to Melissa out there. She's wearing a dress by Ivanka. She's wearing a dress by Ivanka, so you can share that.
Good.
So that's good.
That's very nice.
But
Thank you.
more than anything, we 100% believe in what you're doing, and we want you to keep it up. And we know that the one way we can make sure that it keeps up is by getting out to vote and fully supporting the Trump re-election campaign, because that will also help us in Arizona be able to keep the state Senate and the state House. And we are very, very close. And we want to have a huge turnout for you. And we appreciate you coming. We love that you're here, and we hope to see you many more times.
And it is getting a lot easier to be Republican for, as you say, minority. It's getting a lot easier, whether you're Hispanic or anything else. We're taking in people that are, it's a beautiful thing to see what's happening with the Republican Party. And remember, it's the party of Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people forget that. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. The other side likes to try and claim him big disinformation, but they can't get away with it.
Do we? Do the Democrats try and never claim Lincoln?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm here to share my American dream, and I want everyone to know that our dream is still alive. The American dream is still alive, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I came here to the United States when I was 11 years old. My mom worked so hard to support my siblings. When I was 22 years old, I got shot by the father of my kid. I survived horrible domestic violence. But after I got shot, after a month of getting better, I had two choices to make. One was to survive out of government welfare.
Okay.
Survive out of government welfare or get a job. I chose to get a job as a janitor. Thank you. Because for so much long, for the first time I felt freedom. I felt that I needed to be free, and I didn't want to be dependent on the government. So I started making $5 an hour in 1997, and I loved my job so much that I worked my way up to become a supervisor manager, and then 5 years later, I ended up buying my own my company, my own janitorial company.
All right.
Thank you. And for me, that is looking at the American dream. A high school dropout, they didn't finish high school. I mean, what else can I do but to clean very well and move up the ladder? That is the real American dream.
Thank you very much.
That's what happens.
Or finish high school. You can do that and go to college.
That's good.
There's that as well.
So from going to work 8 hours a day, we end up working 16 hours a day for the next 5 years to pay off the big loans.
Okay.
Then my fiance, Ron Pigner, now my husband is here, put together. So after 5 years in 2005, we paid it all off. Then after that, I started feeling that I was getting more free and more free. And I'm a giver. I like to help. If God takes care of me, I take care of others. So what I do, thank you. So at that time in 2005, I had already 60 employees working for me. And one of the things that I love and
That's
do
awesome.
for them
Let's go ahead
is
here.
help them.
Can't do this. It's a long broadcast. Okay, come on. Okay. Somebody named Gloria is doing something. Okay. Somebody named him.
Thank you for that. We thank you for the support. We thank you for the
He's
dedication.
got a bow tie.
We know that your Attorney General, William Barr, is doing a tremendous job. We thank you for that.
Okay, moving forward. William Barr is not doing a tremendous job. He literally couldn't answer a question on whether it was illegal to vote twice.
And a privilege to be talking to you, to be part of this table.
Well,
My
I'd
name
have
is
to
Jorge
look at the
Rivas.
specific state
My
laws.
wife and I, Betty Rivas, own
Yay! Okay. He probably owns like another hockey team. Now I'm going to have to hate another hockey team.
Great story.
many of them, after I mentioned to them that I had the privilege to come to meet with you, they said, make sure you tell the president not only that we respect him,
Yeah, so Trump is actually doing quite well with the Hispanic voting, at least in polls. Still way less than Biden, but enough to tip the scales, which is why he's out in Arizona. And he'll be looking at Colorado. And possibly, I don't know if he's ever going to think that Washington or California is going to be in play. Because if he's got enough support from Hispanics, he could flip one of those states and make it red.
You too. And I tweeted out, this is a great couple, and I looked at them and I said, look at this couple. And they were giving them a hard time. and they were trying to do a boycott because this other side is very vicious. They'll try and do boycotts. So I said, you know
Really, the whole cancel Netflix culture is vicious.
what? It's not very presidential, but I'm going to do a tweet for Sammy and his beautiful wife.
I'm just not going to Angels games. Let's be honest. I haven't gone to an Angels game in over a year. No one has gone to an Angels game.
And you never saw lines like this ever before, and that's the reason. And I'll tell you, you've been great, and I appreciate. I hear the place is doing fantastic.
He's doing very well, sir, Mr. President. Thank you very much. And I have a few more things to
Yeah,
mention.
go ahead.
If you don't mind. Betty, my wife, and I were being blessed with three excellent young boys, three young men. They're doing very well in college.
Good.
And I feel that every kid has the need to be supported or to be loved since they are 4, 5, 6 years old. Help them in high school, helping them get through college. We're, like I said, we've been blessed. Our kids are graduating from high school and from college with honors. And I think that
Good.
part of the problem that we're having nowadays, and so many people are looting, so much hate, breaking windows, stealing somebody else's property, is because the parents are doing a poor job in helping their kids.
That's a good point. Trump should attack the parents of America. Good thinking.
In helping their kids achieve their dreams, their goals. So if you are not there when they are very young, do not expect them to be a very good citizen when they get older.
Yeah.
So I feel that we as parents, we need to do a much better job of raising our kids, because if you are a person of either you're immigrant, you are minority, you are Hispanic or black person, if you are not helping your kids when they're very young, do not come with me 10 years, 15 years later and tell me that you have a sign for me to respect your sign that says Black Lives Matter.
You just want to step back slowly from that one, Trump. Just slide your chair away and get out. Do not double down. Do not double down.
If you are being irresponsible, not helping your kids, I will suggest for you to take your sign, frame it, and put it in your house, in your living room, and look at it every day and care for your child when they're young.
Yeah, parents of George Floyd, take that. Wow. I was thinking, like, I think this is the guy with the pizza place or the restaurant of some kind, and people are boycotting him because they had Trump in at some point and they were pro-Trump and people were all upset, and now there's lines outside. And I thought, well, you know what? I'd go. If it was good food, I'd probably go. You know, they're just trying to do their thing. They have different political viewpoints than me, but the whole, like, hey, black parents, get your ass in gear. I don't know if I can agree with that. Yes, parents should pay attention to their children and try and guide them. But blaming the parents for their kids getting shot by the cops? Some of the parents, I assume, are good people. And the audience is going nuts. What we really need to talk about is black on black crime. Welcome to CPAC, ladies and gentlemen. A very non-Hispanic man just yelled, "Preach it, brother!"
We need to keep the family structure together, stronger, family dad. Because for us, my wife and I work very hard in our business, 12, 14, 16 hours a day.
Trump hasn't said a word yet, by the way.
But we always make time to support our children, make sure that, that their needs were met.
That's good.
We are not rich or anything like that. We make sure that they had, what they needed to succeed. And I think we are failing very miserably on that. When your opponent is not saying anything about all the destruction that the people are doing out there.
Okay, newsflash, he has been and is over and over and over again.
They're only promoting that destruction. So we as Latinos, we are people that care for our family, people that we call ourselves Christians. We must support someone, in this case, President Trump, to lead this country for another 4 years.
Too loud. Too loud.
Thank you, sir.
Just 2 more sentences, okay? I'll be done, almost done.
Trump hasn't said anything more than thank you at this point.
I feel, Mr. President, that if we call ourselves Christians, we should...
He needs the black vote, by the way. Or he needs the black vote to stay home, like they did for Hillary. And again, that's voting blocks, but there was a 12% drop in African-American males from Biden to Hillary. That's the margin. That's where Trump won. The 70,000 votes in the swing states, that's the difference. So Trump has to have the African-American community, especially African-American males, either stay home or vote for him. 1 or 2 points either direction swing this things.
We should really think, or maybe those people out there that consider themselves independent, to really think, what do you want your country to look like in 10 years from now? Do you want your kids to have an...
Not like it does right now, that's for sure. If President Biden wants a chance at a second...
opportunity to succeed, or do you want to have a breakdown in society where they're not going to have the options to live the American dream?
Well, there's kind of a break. I mean, they're breaking the windows at your shop, right? And President Trump's in charge, right? And Governor Ducey is Republican, right?
So for those reasons, I feel that it's extremely important to listen to what the other side is saying, because for the commercials that I see are all based on lies and hate. Let's lie about what President Trump is doing. Let's lie about, blaming him for COVID-19 or everything.
Joe Biden hasn't left his basement in 24 years. Yep, lies and hate. That's the other side.
Else, and they're not showing any structure or any goals or any plans or what they're going to do. Everything is based on attacking President Trump.
One side has a platform, the other side has no platform. So, yeah.
Shame on you, Mr. Biden.
Oh, see? Artie Moreno's clapping at that.
And lastly,
no more angels.
As a good business owner, as a entrepreneur, as an American, Mr. President, I wrote a book. I finished writing a book 2 weeks ago, and I gave one of your White House staff a book to give it to you. So if you please read it, I think it's very good. It is called American Patriots. No, I'm sorry. It is called Modern Patriots. Why modern? Because we feel that we as Latino, we are new, like myself, we're a new generation, but we're full of love for this country, and we're standing up for what is right, and we're standing up for you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Beautiful.
I love you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Senator. Wow. That was a good job. That was actually very good. Are you proud of him? Yeah. Thank you, Devin. Go ahead. Follow that. Go follow that.
No way. Well, thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Moses Sanchez, and I'm a legal immigrant from Panama. My family and I came to the United States during the Reagan administration in search of that American dream. And we've been pretty good, with doctorates, nurses, and entrepreneurs in our family that are contributing back to the fabric of this country. I've proudly served my country's Navy combat team for the last 24 years. With a tour in Afghanistan in 2011. Now, for decades, our Hispanic community and persons of color have been accustomed to getting lip service from our political leaders. Promises of...
Okay, he's just reading. Okay, moving on. They're laughing, they're cheering. There's more. Okay, let's see if Trump does something at the end here. Nope. Okay, more down there. More up here.
Anyone say that a police officer is a good guy in my neighborhood? This is the stuff we're facing in southern Arizona, in Tucson, in Liberty.
This might be interesting.
You know,
see, Trump.
Go ahead, go on your road, go on your path. This was about a year ago, and my son says, Dad, I haven't heard in my entire life, and he's 17 now, anyone say that a police officer is a good guy in my neighborhood. This is the stuff we're facing in southern Arizona, in Tucson, in liberal-ran areas that hate police. Okay?
It's the people in charge.
So,
it's not the people in their own life experience with the police. It's the governors.
Biggest fans stand up.
Again,
and,
Arizona has a Republican governor.
Hi to President Trump, guys.
Literally, the guy sitting right next to him just got done saying, hey, parents, teach your kids to like the police.
They are your biggest fans in the world. And they have your picture in their house.
And they're beautiful. And they're beautiful kids, too.
Thank you so much,
It's
President.
Really nice.
And in closing, when I tweeted that President Trump was coming to Arizona for the 5th time to hear Latinos and their opinions,
all my friends said, man, he sounds desperate. And he is.
I had some hecklers say, I'm sure President Trump will listen to you. Here he is. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. That's a great job.
Sit down, Angel.
Thank you very much. Please.
Good afternoon. We welcome new citizens who love our people.
Okay, she's reading.
Never ever in the country. In every
Story started going. I wasn't leaving.
and for serving our country. We love you, President Trump.
Thank you very much. Great. Well, I just want to finish by saying my people told me this was going to take about 1/3 of the time, but after these stories started going, I wasn't leaving. I want to tell you, they are incredible stories, success stories, all success stories. You've done so well. The Hispanic community is amazing. I knew that immediately. I knew that from many years ago, long before I thought about doing this whole deal in politics. I didn't have to be told about the Hispanic community. I dealt with them.
Really?
Natural business people.
Do we need to replay the escalator speech? The rapists, the dealers, the criminals, and some of them, I assume, are good people. Because he hadn't actually met any that he thought were good people. Some of them, I assume. How quickly we forget.
Great business people. Great business people. You have to be very sharp when you deal with Hispanic Americans. My Latinos, I love the Latinos, but I've always known how great you were. I mean, Artie's a great example of it, one of your great examples of it. But
which ones? The rapists? Are those?
It's a fantastic community. I will never let you down. I will tell you, I'll never let you down. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Marty, thank you very much.
Good Jesus. Okay, so that was that. I'm done with Trump. That was another hour. That's like 5 hours of Trump today. That is too much Trump. Good title for a book. Okay, well, it's been fun, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll do some more tomorrow. Here are some closing credits for you.
Kevin, is this helpful to Joe Biden?
Wait, what?